Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has resigned and left the country. Army Chief Zaman has confirmed, adding that an interim government is to take over power now in the country. Protesters stormed her official residence and her personal residence as well. Visuals showed hundreds of people ransacking the building. The Prime Minister, who's resigned earlier, left the Bangladesh capital of Dhaka on a helicopter with her sister. Protesters also vandalized Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's statue. Meanwhile, India's Border Security Force has issued a high alert for all units along the 4,096-kilometer India-Bangladesh border. Joining us at this point on this story is Sumit Peer, political commentator. Major General Rajan Kochar, defense expert, also joins us live. Professor S.T. Muni, former member, Executive Council, MP, IDSA, is live with us as well. Prashanta Kumar Sheel, international political analyst, also joins us on the broadcast. Sumit, a very volatile time for Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina resigning, leaving the country. What do you make of this decision?
Uday, thank you very much for having me on your show. Recall a few days back, I think it was a week or 10 days, I was in NewsX. I'm not sure Mr. Muni was with me and there was some other gentleman. I have told you, army is going to take over. It's a matter of weeks. She will be out. We are going to have a lot of problems in Bangladesh because my sources have been telling me it's a matter of days. Ye kabhi bhi hoga. And now I've been always raising a question. What happens if Sheikh Hasina is out of the system? What happens to our interest in Bangladesh? There's a big vacuum created. We had persuaded her to build a dam next to Tista, which was actually going to Chinese. Adani ji has put a $2 billion power plant there. Now, if you look at the whole of the border area, we have a problem. Now, when she is out of the country, which people believe that she has landed somewhere in India, that's what the Bangladesh media is claiming, allegedly. I'm saying allegedly. So the thing is that the vacuum was there. This was going to happen. You look, China, United States of America, and Pakistan's ISI was working together to get her out of the power. Even the Americans wanted her to be out of the power, but they could not succeed. We kind of did what we had to do. But this time around, they were successful. This student protest was all orchestrated. It exactly started when she came back from China, when the $20 billion deal scuttled. The $5 billion loan of China was converted to $100 million. And she left China. She cut short her visit. She said, my daughter is not well. I have to go earlier. The Bangladeshi delegation was cut short. They were called back to Bangladesh. And immediately after a few days, just 2-3 days after that, this student protest all of a sudden starts and you have a few hundred people dead. This was all done to get her out of the power. And this is what we have been kind of telling, that there's a lot of trouble which is brewing in Bangladesh because the resentment against Sheikh Hasina is increasing. And what I'm gathering from sources right now, that people are protesting in Dhaka and saying, please do not give her shelter in India, but now they're protesting against India. So the things are not right. The things were bound to go west. We were looking at the things, but we have been kind of ignoring them for a while. And I have been very vocal on your channel. And that day I told you categorically, the army chief is going to take over. It's a matter of time. You can pull on the video. You can pull out the video. It must be in your YouTube channel. So I was very vocal on that, what is going to happen. But unfortunately, the things have happened this way. Now the trouble is, you see, it's going to be a backup for China. It's going to be a backup for ISI because Jamatis are ultimately supported by ISI. China's hand is there. Even United States has something to do there. They are not very happy with this regime. Now we unfortunately will have a third front open. We have around 4,500 kilometers of border. There will be a problem. There might be some influx of major time refugees into our territory. A lot of things have went wrong for us because we were already dealing with Pakistan. We're dealing with China. Now we have a third front which is open because and she coming here is going to irk a lot of people, a lot of Bangladeshis because they think that India is Sharan Dedi, which we are right and we have to give. There's no doubt on that. But there is a lot of political turmoil which is going to happen. Now remember those days when Irshad and all were in command. You know, Ulfa guys, they used to get training in Bangladesh. Nagas used to do whatever they used to and run into Bangladesh. After Sheikh Hasina was in power, at least those things were covered. Those things were not happening. But now she getting out of the power. I don't know how the turmoil is. What is the position of the new general? How much can Chinese pay him? How much can ISI pay him? Which side will he go in? Will he be still the same thing? Who comes to the power? Because if Sheikh Hasina comes to the power, that is Jamati supported by ISI, that is not a good news for us. So there's a political vacuum. I have been hinting on that. There is a political vacuum. What are we doing to create this vacuum? Because she's already touching 80, even by the virtue of age, just by naturally something could have happened to her. Which is the next in line? Which is the next in command? And she has fled with her sister and all. And still the extended family is there. We don't know what will happen to the family, what is going to happen. But India has become now kind of a dartboard for all these jihadis who are out on the streets of Bangladesh. They are targeting India. Ki aapne sharan kyun de diye? And while as we did what we had to do for a humanitarian on a humanitarian grounds and diplomatic grounds. So long story short, Uday, not a good situation for us. Let's wait and watch what happens. Who takes the power? Where the inclinations are? Where the affiliations are? Who can be bribed? Who can be bought in? And if you look at these countries, everybody can be bribed or brought in. And when you get the bogey of Islam in front, then nothing works. Even your money, your diplomacy beyond a point will not work. If these start towing the bogey of Islam, Islam खतरे में है, हिंदुओं ने हमें, हिंदू ने शेख हसीना को बचाया, they're calling her killer Hasina. I mean, that is what the protesters are saying. So it's not a small thing, Uday. It was all orchestrated. Unfortunately, in a week or 10 days, the things went completely north. And this is how it happens when sins have been simmering for quite long. I've been talking about this Zaman later on. I've been talking about Rajshahi Port. I've been talking about Chapawi, Nawabganj, how the anti-India activities are brewing there across, Malda and Murshidabad. You go to the districts of Bangladesh, how these all people are colliding with ISI and how anti-India activities have been brewing there. And people have been telling me, bhai, Liton to ye Ramakrishna mission mein pada. Maine kaha, what does make him Ramakrishna or the reincarnation of Ramakrishna? So Uday, there have been a lot of signs for us, but unfortunately the things have gone west. Let's wait and watch how it happens. That's my limited take on this.
Yes. Okay, let me get in Major General Rajan Kochar as well. Major General Rajan Kochar, was this inevitable, this decision that Sheikh Hasina has finally taken? Also a decision to leave Dhaka, to flee along with her sister. I believe she's en route to India. She's likely to go to London as well. At least those are the initial reports coming in, Major General Kochar.
Uday, I think it was inevitable, and Sumit has actually given a very broad picture of the whole situation. From the military point of view, I would like to state that General Fakhrul Zaman, he has a great Western influence on him. He was never on the same page as Hasina. As a matter of fact, he was known to be pro the protesters. And if you look at his predecessor, General Iqbal Karim Bhuiyan, he has also made a statement and very recently criticizing the Hasina government. The army itself is divided. So this present army chief has a task on hand. We may call it military rule. What is most important is the interim government, what kind of shape this interim government will take, and how the next elections are going to be conducted. It is almost for certain that it is history for Awami League as of now, because I don't think in the present circumstances the Awami League is going to again come in power for quite some time. My friend from Chittagong, he will be able to substantiate what I'm saying. Second aspect is, and a very important aspect which Sumit has mentioned, is about the fundamentalism and the radicalization which is coming into the society in Bangladesh. Jamaat-e-Islami student wing, Chhatra Shabir, is directly funded by the ISI. We have intelligence reports on that, and that is how a movement which starts as a quota movement, which could have easily been contained because the Supreme Court had reduced the entire quota down to 5%. From 30% for the freedom fighters, it came down to only 5%. And I think that was a fair decision on part of the Supreme Court, and it would have been accepted by the students. But it was not a student movement ultimately, because there were larger forces behind this movement, and I would not rule out the possibility of our Western friend. You see, the relation between Sheikh Hasina and the US had deteriorated to quite a degree that I think recently in April she had visited Washington DC, and not one US official met her or had some sort of a deliberation with her. It was very, very evident that they did not consider Bangladesh as a trusted ally, especially with the kind of Chinese interference also coming into Bangladesh. There were also reports which have not been substantiated that the United States wanted an airbase, a US airbase in Bangladesh, and which Sheikh Hasina had refused. So these are all pieces of information which have actually come about. And if you try to analyze this information, I'm sure India was aware of all that. And maybe India did not expect that such a drastic turnaround will take place in so short a time that Sheikh Hasina would have to flee the country and resign. Now the last part of this thing is what next? And especially for India, when we have a border of 4,096 kilometers, our 4 states are affected. We have the Rohingya issues also coming up, and we have Bangladeshi immigrants all over. And not only that, the safety of our Hindu people in Bangladesh, because that is also a big actually concern today, because I believe that today some of their houses have been vandalized. So there has to be a protection to the minorities in Bangladesh. Chief, I don't know how he will be able to manage it, because his army is not united in the sense that the army also has a number of fissures within Bangladesh. So I can only pray and hope that the interim government is a balanced one and is able to restore sanity to this situation in Bangladesh very soon.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.